He was just drawing superheroes in his wheelchair when a black SUV pulled up. Two fake HOA enforcers stepped out. One kicked his chair. The boy froze. Then someone stepped out of the house. Someone they never should have messed with. What happened next? Even the neighbors didn't believe. But first, let's rewind. Fairview Hills was the kind of place people moved to when they were tired of city noise, crime stats, and surprise sirens. White fences, trimmed lawns, porch swings. On weekends, the air was thick with barbecue smoke and the buzz of sprinklers. It was the kind of peace you didn't question. Saturday morning started slow. Inside a red brick house on Willow Bend Drive, Melissa Cooper was pouring her second cup of hazelnut coffee. Her muscles ached from a week of yard work and laundry marathons, but the scent of pancakes and fresh beans made it worth it. She glanced outside and smiled. Her 10-year-old son Liam was on the driveway, hunched over his sketchbook, tongue sticking out, completely zoned in. Liam had cerebral palsy. The wheelchair was permanent, but his imagination, that ran wild. That morning, he was working on his latest creation, Sky Shield, a superhero with a chrome exosuit and a giant flaming sword. Melissa stepped outside, set a juice box on the table beside him. "Still working on Sky Shield?" she asked. "Yeah," he said, not looking up. "But I think I'm going to give him rocket arms, too." She ruffled his hair. 10 more minutes till pancakes, champ." And across the street, hidden behind tinted windows, someone was already watching. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from, because the story, you won't forget it. Liam was still sketching when the SUV came to a full stop in front of their driveway. It didn't roll up like a neighbor's cousin visiting for the weekend or a pizza guy with the wrong address. It stopped like it belonged there, like it was staking territory. The engine cut off. Then, silence. Melissa noticed it first from the kitchen window. Something about it made her stomach twist. The black SUV gleamed like it had just rolled off a showroom floor. No plates. The windows were tinted jet black. Two men stepped out, both dressed the same, tactical pants, tight black polos with bold white letters across the chest. HOA enforcement. Except there was no HOA enforcement team in Fairview Hills. Not like this. No badges. No names. Just attitude. One was tall and lean, head shaved, a clipboard in one hand and mirrored aviators perched on his nose like he was auditioning for a bad cop show. The other was heavier, red-faced and sweaty, with a radio on his hip that wasn't even turned on. They walked like they owned the place, like nobody was going to question them. Melissa set her mug down. "Travis," she called. "Come here. Look." Travis Carson, former MMA coach, quiet protector, was already on his feet before she finished the sentence. He followed her gaze outside, his expression darkening. "You expecting anyone?" he asked. "No. Never seen him before," Melissa said quietly. Outside, the tall one approached Liam. His eyes dropped to the wheelchair with a smirk. Then it happened. He kicked the footrest. Not hard enough to knock Liam over, but hard enough to rattle him. Liam gasped. His sketchbook slid from his lap, pages fluttering like wounded birds across the driveway. And just like that, the air changed. Everything was about to snap. For a split second, nobody moved. The pages of Liam's sketchbook floated across the driveway like leaves in the wind. His hands clutched the arms of his chair, knuckles white. His chest rose and fell in short, shallow breaths. And his superhero, Sky Shield, lay face down in the dirt. Melissa's heart dropped straight through her stomach. She burst to the front door without thinking, voice trembling but sharp as glass. "What is wrong with you?" she yelled, sprinting to her son. The tall man didn't even flinch. He scribbled something on his clipboard like this was routine, as if he hadn't just kicked a child's wheelchair. "This child is obstructing the community access pathway," he said, flat and robotic. Melissa's hands shook. "He's on our driveway. There's no pathway here. You need to back off." The sweaty one stepped forward. "We've had multiple complaints. This setup violates ADA sidewalk flow. You've been warned." She stared at him, stunned. "What? Nobody warned us. We're the HOA. I've lived here for 9 years. We're the HOA now," he snapped. And if you don't want this junk heap towed, I suggest you stop interfering. Junk heap? Melissa's voice cracked. She dropped to her knees beside Liam, checking him over. Sweetheart, are you okay? Liam's voice was barely audible. Why'd he kick me? I wasn't doing anything. She hugged him tight, her fingers shaking against his back. And then, quiet footsteps. Travis had stepped outside. He didn't say anything at first, just stood on the porch, arms loose at his sides, eyes locked on the clipboard guy like a predator sizing up a fool. The tall man sneered. You got problem? Travis's voice was ice. Yeah, he said softly, gaze flicking down to Liam. Yeah, what you just did. That's going to be a problem. The heavy one puffed up like a bull. Mind your business, old man. Travis stepped off the last stair with the kind of calm that made people nervous. His hands didn't clench. He didn't raise his voice. But something shifted like the sky before a storm. He wasn't angry. He was ready. I am the business, Travis said, low and steady. The tall guy scoffed, reaching forward to shove him. That was all Travis needed. In one fluid motion, no wasted effort, Travis moved. His right fist shot out, lightning fast, catching the man square in the jaw. The crack echoed down the street. Clipboard dropped. Sunglasses flew, and the enforcer collapsed like a cut puppet. Limbs folding, head bouncing once against the pavement. Gasps from across the street. A woman dropped her coffee mug. Someone shouted, "Did you see that?" The heavy guy froze, halfway between bravado and regret. Then, like an idiot, he lunged. Travis sidestepped, grabbed the man's wrist mid-swing, twisted hard. A howl of pain, then a sweep of the leg, and slam. The man hit the pavement flat, air leaving his lungs in a desperate wheeze. Melissa stood up slowly, still shielding Liam. Her heart pounded, but something in her finally exhaled. For the first time since that SUV pulled up, she wasn't afraid. Travis stood over the two men, calm, unmoved. You kicked a kid in a wheelchair, he said, voice flat. You're lucky I'm retired. The groaning man spat. You assaulted an officer. Travis shook his head. Nah, I stopped a criminal impersonating one. More neighbors were outside now. Phones up recording. Mr. Holland from across the street, a Marine vet, called out. Got the whole thing on video. These punks are done. And just like that, the predators weren't in charge anymore. The sirens came fast, louder than usual in the neighborhood, so quiet you could hear a sprinkler from 3 houses down. A cruiser screeched around the corner, lights flashing blue and red across every garage door on the street. 2 officers jumped out, hands resting near their belts. They looked around, took one glance at the unconscious man on the pavement, the SUV with no plates, the crowd of phones filming, and instantly shifted gears. What the hell happened here? One asked. Travis didn't flinch. You'll want to talk to the neighbors. Start with that porch. She got the whole thing. Melissa stepped forward, her voice firm but still shaken. These 2 showed up pretending to be from the HOA. No ID, no warning. Then one of them kicked my son's wheelchair. That's when things escalated. The heavy man, still clutching his arm, muttered, That lunatic assaulted us. The cop didn't even look at him. Name? He asked Travis. Travis Carson. That name clicked. The younger officer blinked. Wait, the Travis Carson? MMA? Travis gave a tired half-smile. Long time ago. The older officer was already on his radio. Medical on site. 2 suspects, one unconscious, one with an arm injury. Confirmed impersonation. Possible assault on a minor. Requesting backup. It all moved fast after that. A neighbor brought out water for Melissa and Liam. Another said they'd already tagged the footage to the local news station. One woman shouted from her upstairs window, I got the whole thing from my balcony. Meanwhile, an officer crouched next to the fallen clipboard. These IDs aren't real. Laminated printouts. No seals. No contact info. Melissa exhaled shakily. They've probably done this before. You're not wrong, the cop said. It's a scam we've been hearing whispers about. But today, He looked at Travis, then Liam. Today, they picked the wrong house. By the time the paramedics loaded the men into the ambulance, one strapped to a stretcher, the other groaning about his broken damn arm. The videos were already online. Neighbors weren't just filming. They were sharing, posting clips with titles like "Fake HOA Thugs Get Wrecked by Ex-MMA Coach" and "Hero Saves Disabled Kid from Psychos." Hashtags were trending before the sirens even faded. Melissa barely noticed. She was too busy making sure Liam was okay, checking his fingers, wiping the dirt from his sketchbook, whispering comforts over and over like a mantra. "I'm fine, Mom," Liam said quietly. "Really?" But his eyes stayed locked on Travis, like he was still trying to understand what he'd just witnessed. "Coach Travis, is he in trouble?" Melissa glanced toward the porch, where Travis was giving a statement to the officers. "No, sweetie," she whispered. "He did what any good man would do." Liam smiled faintly. Sky Shield would have done the same thing. "Yeah," she nodded. "He really would have." Then, across the street, a news van pulled up. Fast. Too fast. The local station was already here. Microphone out, camera live. A young reporter was flagging neighbors for interviews. "Did you see it?" "See it? I filmed it in 4K. He knocked that guy out. Like, boom. One punch, lights out. He saved that kid." A few people started clapping. Not loud, not staged. Just honest applause. Not for violence, but for justice. For someone finally stepping up. And back inside, Liam sat at the kitchen table with a crumpled piece of paper in front of him. His superhero sketch. The cape was torn, but the flame still looked strong. He added one more detail before holding up proudly. "I gave him Travis's jawline," Liam said with a grin. "He earned it." By the next morning, everything had changed. Melissa woke up to a phone, buzzing nonstop on her nightstand. Missed calls, voicemails, messages from people she hadn't heard from in years. When she finally opened her texts, the first thing she saw made her sit bolt upright. You're on the front page of Reddit. It was a freeze frame from a video. Travis mid-swing, fist inches from the jaw of the fake officer, Liam wide-eyed in the background. The caption read, "Fake HOA cops attack disabled kid. Forgot to check who was visiting." Over 3.6 million views. And climbing. Top comment. "This is the kind of justice you don't learn in courtrooms. That man deserves a statue." When Melissa walked into the kitchen, Travis was already there. Same shirt as yesterday, knuckles still slightly red, sipping his black coffee like it was any other morning. "They found the clip?" he asked without turning around. She laughed, half in disbelief. "They found it, edited it, added music. Slow-mo, captions. Liam's calling you Sky Shield now." Travis cracked a half smile. He's got good taste. She sat down across from him. "We're on the news, Travis. National. This is insane." He nodded. "Got a call from a podcast I haven't heard from in 10 years. Want to do a segment. From MMA to HOA. Heroes return. Told M to lose my number." Melissa raised an eyebrow. "You're a headline now." He looked at her. "You're the headline. You and Liam." I just threw a punch. But that punch, it lit a wildfire. Within hours, dozens of families from nearby towns came forward. People had been threatened, fined, or intimidated by fake HOA enforcers. Same black SUV. Same fake badges. But now, with video proof and national attention, the dominoes started falling. And Travis? He wasn't backing down. 3 days later, the mayor's office called. Not a cop, not a reporter. The mayor. They wanted to honor Liam at the local community center for bravery, resilience, and composure in the face of unprovoked aggression. It wasn't just symbolic. There'd be cameras, a crowd, even a cosplayer presented him with a handmade superhero cape. Travis offered to stay behind. "Crowds aren't really my thing," he muttered. But Liam wouldn't hear it. "You're coming," he said, cape in hand. "You're a part of this." The place was packed. When Liam rolled onto stage, the applause was thunderous. Melissa stood beside him, eyes glassy but proud, her hand gently resting on his shoulder. Travis, awkward as ever, hovered just behind them, hands in his pockets, jaw tight, like he was more nervous now than during the fight. After the ceremony, another boy in a wheelchair approached Liam. He looked nervous. "Hey," he said shyly, "I saw the video. You made me feel like we're not invisible." Liam beamed. "We're not. We just needed someone to show Am." Back home that evening, Melissa handed Liam a sealed envelope. Inside, a full scholarship to a junior martial arts program for kids with disabilities. Funded anonymously, but she recognized the veteran-run foundation's logo. Liam's hands trembled. "I get to train like Coach Travis?" Travis chuckled. "Not like me, kid. Better than me." Meanwhile, the legal system kicked into gear. The two impersonators, Michael Draper and Kevin Niles, were hit with a long list of charges. Impersonating law enforcement, assault a disabled minor, conspiracy, fraud. No bail. Too much video. Too many witnesses. And more victims were coming forward every hour. That morning, they kicked a kid in a driveway. By Friday, they were behind bars, and the whole country knew why. Fairview Hills would never be the same. Within a week, HOA boards across the state were scrambling, reviewing procedures, auditing their enforcement partners, and issuing public apologies. What started on a quiet driveway with a sketchbook and a wheelchair had turned into a reckoning. And right at the center of it all, Liam, Melissa, and the man who threw one punch that changed everything. A mural appeared on the side of the community center. Liam in his chair, Sky Shield sketchbook in hand. Travis behind him mid-punch, arm extended like a battering ram of justice. Underneath, in bold paint strokes, "Real power protects. It doesn't pray." Liam visited it every Saturday. He'd point out little details to his friends. The cape's shading, the flames on the sword, the small smirk the artist had added to Travis's face. Melissa had the image printed on T-shirts, with all proceeds going to a non-profit for disabled kids and veteran reintegration programs. They sold out in 4 days. Even Travis, who hated attention, had to admit something bigger had come from all of it. One night, as the sun dipped low and fireflies blinked across the yard, he sat on the porch next to Melissa. "Never thought one punch would do all this," he said quietly. Melissa smiled, watching Liam inside, taping the superhero cape above his bed. "It wasn't just a punch," she said. "It was why you threw it." Travis nodded. "Still hurts my shoulder," he muttered. She laughed. "He's already drawing you again. New character." "Oh, yeah?" "Yeah. Name's Justice Jaw." He groaned. "Tell him to give that guy better knees." She laughed harder. And for the first time in weeks, it felt like things weren't just calm again. They were right. The storm had passed. But what came after was something stronger than peace. It was pride. Liam's room looked different now. The cape hung above his bed like a banner. His sketchbook, once full of make-believe heroes, now featured one drawn from real life. Justice Jaw, Sky Shield rocket arm, all inspired by a single day that changed everything. Melissa watched from the doorway as he added the final touches. A lightning bolt across a helmet, flame trails curling from a wheelchair's wheels. "You done?" she asked softly. Liam nodded. "Almost. Just need to draw the bad guys running away." Outside, the neighborhood felt quieter, but not like before. It wasn't the old kind of silence. It was the kind that comes after people see something, after they wake up. Word had spread far beyond the cul-de-sac. News segments, op-eds, even a clip played during a national town hall on disability rights. Travis was flooded with interview requests. He turned them all down, except one, a handwritten thank you letter from a kid across the country who said, "You showed them we matter." Back at the house, Melissa got a knock on the door. It was Mr. Holland, the old Marine with the porch flag and the coffee mug she always saw on his steps. He handed her a folded envelope. "This is for Liam," he said. "From the guys down at the VFW." We passed the hat around, saying thanks. Inside, a certificate signed by 20 veterans, naming Liam honorary guardian of the block. And taped to the bottom, a patch, black and silver, a lightning bolt stitched down the middle. Melissa swallowed hard. "Thank you," she whispered. When she gave it to Liam, He just stared at it, eyes wide, hands trembling. They really sent this? They really did. He didn't speak for a while, just looked at the patch, then at his sketchbook, and then quietly, I think I know what Sky Shield's next mission is.